Hello everyone, it is me, GamePenguin21, and today, well, we're going to be looking at this. Mr. Canadian Gamer currently has a couple videos that are like on my radar. One of them was really long, so I'm just going to briefly mention it here in the beginning, and we're going to talk about a few other things because this channel is built on controversy and stuff like that. First of all, absolutely Happy New Year to everyone. This will probably be one of the first couple of videos that goes up. Because I have two in the works right now. One is more important than the other, but I think that the one that says Happy New Year is probably going to go up first, so depending on whatever the fuck happens. In any case, the biggest thing about Canadian Gamer that a lot of people may or may not know is that he is very much so the old school style, but like the boomer old school style of people who like video games. I've covered him before on this channel, and again, like I said, he has his very, very boomer type style takes. The one video that I'm going to mention here briefly that I saw a bit of was he went on a bit of a rant at the end of last year because Digital Foundry had said something about the Steam Deck and not the Steam Deck. That's completely wrong. That's completely wrong. He said something about the Switch, not the Steam Deck. And how Digital Foundry had said something about the Switch 2 being like a canned project or something like that. I don't remember the specifics. And this is from a secondary source, so I'm not going to repeat anything else of what he says, other than that he mentioned that, and then went on an entire 15-minute rant about the whole thing. And mentioned again one of the bigger points of his video, a very similar aspect to his previous Steam Deck videos, with the main argument being that the people outside of the gaming community have never heard of the frickin' They've never heard of a Switch, and they don't know the difference between a Switch and stuff. And then listed off like the 7 to 12-year-olds who also probably don't know the difference and blah, 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 blah. Look, to make a long story short, that video is kind of pointless and kind of actually stupid because, yes, everyone's going to get into a tizzy over something that's like Digital Foundry has said and like any gaming media says because they take it at face value and stuff like that. It's just, all in all, it is very stupid of a point to make. And yeah, of course, this is a very similar argument to anyone outside of the gaming community who is not invested in a hobby like this will probably not understand fucking anything. I mean, what? Do you understand all of the model trains and stuff like that? I don't really think so. That's just kind of dumb to really be talking about right now. But yeah, of course, also YouTube changed their algorithms and things. I'm going to be trying to curse and bring down my curses a lot less. But I am very, very unfiltered, hence why I have that song at the end. It's become my theme song as of recently. In any case, today we're going to be looking at one of the previous videos that I didn't get to cover because there was a lot going on at the time, and I just didn't feel like I needed to cover it. But now that I have some more time, and it's the beginning of the new year, and, in all honesty, the year does look like it's going to be a slow one for the next couple of weeks. And I might have a couple of videos lined up. I might actually start to upload a couple of videos within the week as well. So that it might be this one, and there might be like a commentary one, and there might be another comment one because I've been getting a lot of comments about people. So I might be releasing things more frequently, at least until school picks back up sometime in February. In any case, let's look at this video. This intro has been very long, and I'm sorry for that, but thank you for sticking with me. Let's look at him talking about why the 2022 Game Awards shows everything bad about the gaming industry.
How's it going, guys? Cameron here, Canadian Gamer, coming at you with another video. Thought I'd change things up today, rather than have you guys look at my pretty face. I shot some footage over the weekend while hiking on a nature trail in the Ottawa area, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So today we're talking about the Game Awards 2022, which is an upcoming award show that will honor the best video games of 2022. The event will be hosted by Jeff Keighley, creator and producer of the Game Awards, and will be held to an invited audience at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles on December 8th, 2022. The pre-show ceremony will be hosted by Sippy Goodman. The event will be live-streamed across more than 40 digital platforms alongside an additional IMAX experience. The show introduced a new Best Adaptation Award for media adapted from video games. God of War Ragnarok leads the show with 10 nominations.
So, yeah, where do we even begin with this? The Keighley Awards. Jeff Keighley, the man of the hour, the guy that everybody likes.
Oh boy. Already starting out with the weirdness in this video. Firstly, obviously, his camera quality is still ass. And in all honesty, that's fine. You can have camera quality in ass so long as the quality of the video is still okay. I mean, I know that my quality is not always the best, and in fact, a lot of my videos tend to like lack in some qualities, as some people would say, and I don't diss them for thinking. I don't diss them for thinking that. A lot of my stuff is very, very low effort, and I never make that any less clear when I just capture the gameplay, commentate over it using Audacity, yelling into a microphone for like 30 to 40 minutes, and then basically just fucking off and doing something else for the next like hour or two. I don't care about the quality of my videos too much as of right now because, again, my audience is so small that I don't really see the effort to put forward to it, but I put enough effort into it so that way that way I improve very slightly over my videos and stuff, and that's just my own personal thing. But it's still, but to get into his actual point here, he basically just listed off a whole bunch of the Game Awards stuff and yada yada, and then says like the Jeff Keighley Awards. It's like, well, yes, I see people kissing Jeff Keighley's ass. I see just as many people dissing him the fuck out. I know that I personally have dissed him the fuck out a number of times, mainly because it just seems like he's. Oops, just dropped something. It just seems like he's kind of trying to be with the kids and stuff like that. But he doesn't seem to like know. It's almost like he's a robot, kind of. But at the same time, I kind of get where he's coming from. It's just really, 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 really weird to hear someone like say that he's being ass kissed the entire time. It's like, not really. Again, hindsight is 2020 here, and in the sense that Canadian Gamer didn't make a video on the after effects of God of War, at like losing the Game of the Years, which is fine. But majority of when like the solid, like the big Sony fanboys, I've made a video on this before, but when the Sony fanboys lost their minds over Jeff Keighley not picking God of War Ragnarok over the other stuff, they all blamed him and said that he was a bad person for that and just blah 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 blah. But again, this is coming from PlayStation fanboy, so don't take that too seriously. And I'm not saying that Jeff Keighley is a good person or a bad person. I just think that he's a little bit weird. But everyone's a little bit weird, so that's just my own personal thoughts on the matter.
To kiss ass to, not quite sure why that is. Jeff Keighley is Canadian. If you didn't know that. He might be from Toronto. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, where do we even begin with the Game Awards? The first thing I want to say, I don't know if you guys have looked at the nominations, but I'm seeing a lot of the same games in each and every category, okay? Game of the Year, A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, okay? Best Game Direction, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. Best Narrative, A Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West. Best Art Direction, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West. Best Score and Music, A Plague Tale.
Why are you yelling? Just why are you yelling? That's not funny. Also, where's your laugh track? Ha 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 ha. Good jokes. But I don't really see a problem here. It's like it's almost as if multiple video games can fit into multiple different categories of like award shows and stuff. And if there weren't a lot of really big games that came out that got a lot of press releases. I mean, fuck, how many games actually came out during the whole year of 2022? I don't think the most notable games that got the stuff were the ones that were constantly being pushed into the marketing. How many of those games are around, and how many of those games that released this year got those big AAA releases? And most of those games are, again, AAA games. Some of them are AA, some of them are indie. It doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is that not many games came out in 2022, at least that people remember, that could get nominated for these awards because of their arbitrary shit. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess you might bring that up later in the video. It's like, oh, there's just this is like so limited selection. It's like, yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, like, people understand that this entire thing is very corporatized in the sense that this is just like, why are you getting mad over the same games being nominated for the same awards? It's the same thing as like the Tonys or the Grammys. A lot of the same similar music that is popular at the time will get nominated for multiple awards. Like, whether or not they win is a completely separate thing entirely, but like the Golden Globes is whatever, the Emmys or whatever. Like, people don't care. Normal people don't care about this shit enough to make a video like this. I care enough to make a video on you because you cared enough to make a shitty video like this that I think is just garbage right now.
Elden Ring, God of War. Do you see where I'm getting with this, folks? Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay? The Game Awards is no different than the Oscars, okay? The Grammys, the Emmys, okay? This award show is here to represent the mainstream, okay? The James Camerons of the industry, okay? The Michael Bays, okay? We're not here to represent, some of the games that may have been released in 2022 that might not be huge, mega, blockbuster movies as an example. I know I'm using movies here, but you see what I'm getting at? God of War Ragnarok, sure. I'm sure it's a great game. I'm sure it is. But at the end of the day, it's extremely commercial, okay? Just like James Cameron's The Titanic or...
Oh my god. What? So, you're a pretentious hipster? There's nothing wrong with being a pretentious hipster. I'm just saying, you're a pretentious hipster? Gee, it's almost like, these games had to have a huge marketing push. And again, to bring up an argument you've brought up in the past, don't you think that the majority of people outside of the gaming community don't know any of the shit that we do? They don't understand, the good quality games that you might have played, or the good quality games, quote unquote, that you might have played this year that have been released. How many games do you think released versus how many movies do you think gets released within a given year? And a lot of these movies take years and years to make. Same thing with a lot of these video games. And yeah, people know this. A lot of people understand and internalize these awards mean nothing to the individual, just that they're kind of, circle jerking it around. Kind of, not really. It depends on the situation and depends on a lot of things. But it's one of those things where it's like, why make a video on something that everyone in the gaming community knows? What the fuck are you saying in this? What's your point? That the Game Awards is mainstream and represents the mainstream media? Newsflash, sir. Correct. Do you want a fucking cookie, or do you want to actually get to the goddamn point of this video?
Michael Bay's Transformers, okay? This is the reason why so many in the music industry don't take the Grammys seriously, okay? When you've got someone like Adele up there scooping up all the awards, okay? When there's real musicians out there that don't get recognized, okay? Let's be honest here. The Game Awards is no different. And like the Grammys and like the Emmys and the Oscars, between awards being handed out, okay, what is pushed on us as a consumer, as a viewer? Endless amounts of teaser trailers that are full of CGI and no actual gameplay. Oh my god. And usually, just like the Oscars or the Grammys, okay, usually the Game Awards is a bloated affair. It goes on for hours on end with cringy music performances by artists we've never even heard of. I think last year they opened up with Sting. God knows how much they paid him to do that, because Sting doesn't give two shits about video games, let's be honest here. Nor should he, because he's 72 years old. So yeah, I don't like the Game Awards. I think it is a cash grab, absolutely. There seems to be some favoritism involved as well. Out of all the amphitheaters you could have chosen within all of North America, Jeff, why did you choose the Microsoft Theater?
Because Microsoft paid the most. At least they offered, or they probably were like, hey, host it here. It just makes sense to host it in a place where video game stuff is, it's a big theater. It looks cool. But to get into his other points, first of all, how do you know that Sting doesn't like video games? How do you know, even though he's 72 years old? What, you can't like video games past a certain age? You can like video games at any age. I know that there are people who are 80 and 90. Some people in their 60s to 90s that are video games are really good. Video games are really nice. I remember reading a story of an 82-year-old woman, if I'm remembering correctly, who played her Nintendo for years upon years because it kept her brain active in a specific way and actually helped her, thrive and survive within her given. It's whatever. But yes, what is your point here? The Game Awards is corporatized like the Grammys and the Emmys. Newsflash, you're correct. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you on here, but why? It's one of those things where it's I'm agreeing with you, but this video is very pointless and makes no sense as to why you're going on a rant about this. What I would also like to say is I'm at least thankful that you don't have the very loud, stupid, obnoxious laugh track that's just been backing the last videos that I have watched from you in this context. At the very least, it looks at least somewhat okay. But at the same time, I'm still not being able to get over, even though I've been watching this for a long time now, I've still not been able to get over how low-budget horror movie type shit this thing looks. Like, if you were to literally take out your audio, put in some, like, suspenseful backtrack music, and maybe, like, desaturate the image a little bit, you'd basically just have an entire horror movie, like, artsy or horror movie type deal and vibe in this context. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so what is your point here? That the gaming corporation is corporatized? Yeah, yes, it is. And there is a lot of other problems there other than the Game Awards. No one takes the Game Awards seriously. Like, and no one really should. It should just be a fun little romp for stuff. And yes, of course there's going to be a lot of game trailers and upcoming trailers for stuff, because that's how these Game Awards work. That's what they're technically really more meant to do. They're meant to push out the games. That's how this has been working for the last number of years. The Game Awards has been a thing. It's stupid to make a video calling out the Game Awards saying, like, this is what's wrong with the gaming industry. What? That the over-corporatization is killing off a lot of the games and stuff? It's like, yes, we are aware. People who are aware of this are going to click on this video expecting you to have some sort of fucking point. But at the same time, this has been the most pointless watching of 4 minutes in my entire goddamn life. At the very least, make some sort of point other than the one that's extremely blatantly obvious to anyone who has even a slight interest in the Game Awards.
I wonder why. But we can't necessarily say he's pro Microsoft when he's clearly in bed with Kojima and Sony. Hell, he's even a character in Death Stranding, for Christ's sakes. So, yeah, like I said, the Video Game Awards is not to be taken seriously. You've got the same 4 or 5 games and almost every single goddamn category here. And I don't care what you guys say, God of War Ragnarok, I know I haven't played it, but come on. You're nominating it for 10 awards, for Christ's sakes? Give me a fucking break. You remember back in 2018? When God of War 2018 won Game of the Year over Red Dead Redemption 2? Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about the game.
Jesus Christ. This video is so fucking pointless. This audio might not even make it into the final cut of everything. In all honesty, dude, like, why make this video? Like, I thought that you didn't like something being niche. I thought that was the impression that you got from, like, say, the Steam Deck. You know? When people were touting and saying that the Steam Deck was a thing, you made 2 videos on the topic. 2 videos where you said that this was too niche and that the gaming industry itself is more for the general public or for people within the gaming community. Who the frick audience are you trying to get into? You're being extremely contradictory in this context. It's weird to me how much you are somehow both understanding yet missing the fucking script. I'm running out of clever because I'm also very tired. And New Year's was just weird because my sleep schedule has been all over the place. But here's the deal, all right? Here is the big deal. Everyone who has had a modicum of interest in the Game Awards understands and knows that the Game Awards is a big deal. It's like the Super Bowl. You'll have extreme fans out there who are there for the whole event, and it's just like a big thing that people tend to like talk about and hype up and use as a marketing tool to kind of get their stuff out there. However, in this context, they're doing it to gaming. And it's the same thing with all the other award shows. This is not news. Why make a video explaining this to people who would most likely already understand what you're about to say and don't even care in the entirety of the fucking context? It's stupid to me to even consider that, again, a video like this getting as many views as it did and still not having a lot of likes. Jesus, again, the 24 likes is weird. And I don't get why he does that. I think that I'll leave it off with this response here that he has from someone in the comment section, that he represents everything that is bad about the retro gaming community. And he just responds with like a laughing emoji and a thumbs up. That kind of goes to show you just how much disconnected Canadian Gamer seems to be from at least the audience or something like that. In all honesty, though, I don't hate you, Mr. Canadian Gamer. I don't care enough more than to make a video on you explaining why your points are very contradictory and why you continue to seemingly not grow despite putting out a lot of different videos. I don't disrespect the hustle. I don't think that you're a bad person. I just think that sometimes you have a take that is worth making a video about, and sometimes the take is so horrible that I just can't, make up anything more clever about it than to say that it's extremely contradictory to a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. And it's very weird how you think that you can be the voice of reason. It's the same thing with certain other people where it's like they think that they can be the voice of reason, and yet when they are trying to be the voice of reason, they're not. I know that I do that sometimes too, where I hoist myself as the voice of reason, but at the same time, I know that I only really speak for myself, and I understand, and I make that my own content and my own way and method of making interesting content for other people. In any case, to all of the people out there who watched out to this far, thank you so much for watching. And I think that I'm going to end it there. I'm getting tired, and again, this audio might not even make it to the light of day. Might be on the cutting room floor. If not, and you're watching this video, thank you so much for watching. My name is GamePango21. This video is a hot, steaming pile of garbage, somehow even worse than most of the other videos that I've reviewed of Canadian Gamer. And a peace off.